Welcome to another episode of Oxygen Not Included, and we have a new update. This is the Packed Snacks update for the TLDR. This is their 50th update, and they've added a couple things. One is a new story trait. They've added new buildings for storage, food preservation, and critter happiness. So we'll be looking at that. They also added a lot of blueprints. I'm going to jump around a little bit out of order from the patch notes just because I'm here. Some of the smaller things that they did is they added new designs for messages on the main menu screen. This stuff looks all different here. They've added 50 new blueprints here. In the supply closet, it is no longer possible to use this to print a blueprint that you already own. As you can see here, that's blocked out. They changed one of the names. This used to be called Basic, now it's just called Standard instead. They've added an animation effect when duplicates change their current blueprint outfit. They've changed a little bit with the layout. I haven't been here enough to really pick up what the change has been. They've added the new skins, and they fixed a typo. So that's what is going on here. Not a whole lot in the supply closet itself. One of the bigger things that have been added is this story trait. So it's called the Biobot Builder. Reboot an ambitious collaborative project spearheaded by Gravitas's bioengineering and robotics department. If correctly rebuilt, it could save duplicant lives. Ooh. Alright, for some of the features that were added, they've added these two buildings, the Dehydrator and the Rehydrator. This makes it so that food can last forever, basically. And it can only come from foods from the gas range. Here we are. So any of these recipes that we have in here can be turned into meals that are dehydrated, and then whenever a dupe wants to eat something that's been dehydrated, they'll use this rehydrator. It's not something you can like queue for them to do. It's something they'll do on their own if they want to eat a meal that has previously been dehydrated. It takes natural gas. As you can see here, we have somewhere for gas to go in. That's the natural gas. It's the same as what's in the range. It also puts out water. It creates like a wet floor. So when it's done, all the liquid it pulls from the food goes onto the floor. So you'll probably want to figure out something to do with that. For example, using mesh tiles underneath it so that all the water drops go somewhere where you want it to go. It also uses plastic along with the food. Something else that they have added, which I'm very excited about, is a storage tile, which is here. So it stores one item, and here we can choose all kinds of different things. My dupes haven't discovered a whole lot, so let's just have them running in the background. Maybe we'll find more. But you can choose something. So this is the max. Let's see, how does that compare to a regular storage bin? So this can do 20, and this can do 1,000. So this holds a whole lot less than what this does. I'm curious if it works with auto sweepers. So let me set that up real quick. Interesting. Filters not designated. Do I need to... Hello, Turner? Ah, yes. So they need to interact with this to set the filter. It's picking up coal, and it is delivering it. Okay. So then, can these guys interact with this? Oh, maybe it's too far. Yes. Okay. So auto sweepers can use this square here, which is very nice for getting things like from one floor to the other. That doesn't seem like it's an intended interaction. What did you just do? Interesting. I don't know if that's just... No, because there was nothing there when I placed that tile, so I'm not entirely sure what this just mined. I don't think that was intended. But yes, this can be interacted from each floor. I am curious. Let's deconstruct or get rid of these guys. Can dupes interact with it from below? So it doesn't seem like they can interact. Let's see. And Interesting. So it doesn't seem like they can grab from below. Interesting. Things just kind of fall through that tile as well. This liquid. Yes. Okay. Interesting. So he's grabbing through this tile to get up here, but it... I think maybe this is glitched since this mined it. So let's see if that changes something. Alright, Bert. Setting this to coal. Let's try brushing in the water. Okay, so now it does stop stuff. It does stop water, at least. I'm curious. Is it airtight? So if we grab some gas, we brush the gas here and then go into here. It does not seem to be going between them. So when your robo miner doesn't mine it out, it does work as keeping liquids and air. Gases and liquids won't go through it, and hopefully not dupes. Can they grab from below 4 tiles? No. Now let's check the 3. So if your ceiling height is 3 from the ground, they can interact from below. So that's good to know. So they've added the story trait, which I found over here in a frozen biome. And what this will do is you need to feed this zombie spores, and it will create little robots. And it takes a duplicant with the advanced medical care in the skill tree. So up here, this will allow you to interact and make these little robots. They can do some of what the duplicate can, but not everything. Basically, if it takes a skill point to be able to do, the little robot cannot do it, but it can do things like deconstruct buildings, carry stuff around, it can use ladders, just like a duplicate and stuff. They've also added a tool in sandbox mode, which I've been clearly using. You can now place story traits in, as long as you don't have it on the map, like so. Something else they have added is the critter condo in the water fort here. So these will affect your critter's happiness. Heading to water fort, getting cozy. It's like a mini vacation. So it helps make them happy. Critters have been changed a bit too, so now there's 4 states of happiness instead of 2. If they have more than 4, they get happy, which increases their reproduction. Satisfied is 0 to 3 for their level of happiness, and that has no effect. Glum decreases their metabolism, and miserable decreases the metabolism and makes it so they will not lay eggs, so, or reproduce in general. So that makes things like starvation ranching work a little differently. Because you need to keep them to a certain level, because if they get too miserable, they just won't lay eggs, and so your starvation ranch will stop functioning. So here we can see his mood is satisfied, so it doesn't give a bonus, but it's not taking it away, so it will produce regularly. Some other things they've changed with creatures is they've renamed hungry to looking for food. They've renamed overcrowded to just crowded. So if you have too many of the same creatures in a small area, they'll just be crowded now. The crowded penalty has been changed so that for each extra critter, it only takes away -4. I think before the first one added 4, and then after that it was just 1, so it's been simplified a little bit. They've made Pacus more happy from eating from the feeder. It went from 2 to +5. And their diet has been changed to 1 seed or 7.5 kilograms of algae per cycle. They've added critter metabolism to the conditions panel on the side screen. The presentation of the critter metabolism has been adjusted to start at 100% instead of 0%. Pacus only check the surrounding liquid volume to determine if they're confined, and the Pacus flopping outside of liquid are now considered confined. Something that's interesting with the Pacu now is that they do not consider themselves confined if they're in a door that is open underwater. Most times if a creature ends up stuck in this area, they're considered confined, but that is not for them. I don't know why they've implemented that. I'm sure there's something that people will find a use for it, but I find it very specific to add in. They've also added some animations to dupes who are using this. It takes a long time, so they've added a lot of idle animations for them. They've added sound effects to this guy. They've also added milestone celebrations for when you've hit 100 and 1,000 cycles. Oh, they've changed the stable tooltip in here to specify which ranching buildings fulfill the room's requirement. That's nice. They've done some optimization for rendering name labels, thought bubbles, and progression bars. They've removed the idle warning over here. And then the right edge idle diagnostic now defaults to alert only setting. So as you can see, it's now over here. They've also added some stuff to the database. Food entries in the database now show associated recipes. Added a category entry to the building section of the database containing information about room requirement classes. And they have also updated the overcrowded to crowded in the field guide. There's a couple things that are specific for Spaced Out DLC. They changed how rockets check the clear path to space when launching to be consistent with how they check when landing. So now it checks the widest module. Duplicants deployed to the asteroid from the Trailblazer module will no longer automatically removed from the crew. Instead, they are removed automatically if the rocket lands on a different asteroid. They've added new ambience to the rocket interiors. Added rocket launch condition warning when a drill cone is installed without a cargo bay. They've also made it so rovers are now listed in the errands tab and added idle diagnostic option to rocket interiors, which defaults to never displayed. So you don't have to know that your dupe has nothing to do while stuck in a rocket, apparently. Oh, I forgot to show you what the plant looks like that you need to use for that. Here you are. These guys. Sporkid, which produces zombie spores. And these spores need to be put into... Oh, here's some. Actually quite close. This is something you do not want your dupes interacting with without a suit. So this has a vent port in and out, and what you need to do is send in those germs. And after a certain amount of time passes, you'll have a new robot. I think you can have up to 6 bots. I have seen some people having problems with game crashes while having these bots out at the moment. But yes, it will create a little cute thing using what is usually something that your dupes really want to avoid. So it's giving these guys a new purpose, which is very nice. They've also fixed some things. But yeah, I think that is most the important stuff in the this new update. I think it's nice that they have added more to the way the critter happiness works. I'm really excited to see how useful these storages will be. You can see that there's like an automation related to it, so it'll have a green light if it's full to how much you've requested. I do think I forgot one thing with automation. So I believe it's this guy now has automation. Yeah. So for example, you could have a switch like this guy. So you could easily say when you do or don't want your dupes going through an area with or without their suit. I don't know that I'll probably use it much, but it's now an option. So I hope you guys have enjoyed looking into all that's been added in this 50th update, which is quite exciting. The next video should be just my Let's Play of this series, so I hope you're looking forward to that. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.